Hey everybody, this is Daniel from PhoneArena with the LG Optimus L5. It's a representative of the L series that are meant to be affordable yet stylish handsets that cover the gamut of screen sizes. The Optimus L5 is the middle child in that range with a 4-inch display and the same single-core Qualcomm processor that is in the L3 and L7. Does it stand a chance against the other affordable handsets which ship with dual-core processors and better screen pixel densities nowadays? Well, watch our video review to find out. Middle kids usually have it the worst, but the LG Optimus L5 doesn't seem to suffer from that syndrome. It is a very good size, to fit well in the hand and be easily operated with one hand, while the Optimus L3 was a little too small with its 3.2-inch display, and the Optimus L7 was a solid 4.3-inch slab. The handset is not extremely thin, but still sub 10 millimeters, so it is comfortable to hold, and the tapered back cover has LG's typical snake skin pattern. Thus involuntary slippage is out of the question when you hold it. The design is actually pretty good for such an affordable handset and certainly more interesting than what Samsung manages to produce in this category. The faux metal siding here and the rim surrounding the 5-megapixel camera with LED flash on the back add a touch of style to the exterior. The power lock key here at the top plus the volume rocker on the left are easy to feel and press, as is the large home key underneath this 4-inch display. There's no front-facing camera, unfortunately, so if you're in the whole video chat scene, it will be a bummer. The L series have pretty abysmal pixel densities, and the L5 is no exception. It's 320 by 480 pixels on a 4-inch display make the images appear much coarser than what you're used to with even the cheapest Sony or Samsung, for example. And is another evidence that LG has cut a bunch of corners to get to that price point. The display is sufficiently bright for operation outside on a sunny day, but the viewing angles are pretty weak, especially the vertical ones. As you can see, the slightest tilt washes out colors and contrast as if the image is drawn with water paint and rain is pouring on it. The horizontal viewing angles are not as bad, but the verticals are pretty bad. Android ice cream sandwich is a blessing, of course, considering the most competitors in this price range still ship with gingerbread on board, and LG has spiced it up a little bit with a few tricks of its own. The quick memo toggle here is handily placed in the pull-down notification bar, and you can draw directly on the current screen for quick memos. Other than that, we have the typical Optimus UX overlay, which skins the stock ICS dock and icons, but that's about it. A coat of paint over Android 4.0. The biggest change over stock is the keyboard, which adds a few helpful things like the comma here next to the spacebar, makes the keys bigger and overall more comfortable to use than the default keyboard. LG provides a few apps of its own with this interface, which you can certainly go by without, like LG's Smart World here, but also the file and document viewer Polaris Office and handy apps for managing NFC and DLNA, like Smart Share here and LG Tag Plus. We have a Qualcomm MSM 7225 processor underclocked compared to the one ticking in the LG Optimus L7 down to 800 MHz, but we have more RAM than in Optimus L3 to the tune of 512 megabytes here. See what LG did to set L series members apart now. Out of the 4 gigabytes of internal memory, the user available is 2.65 of storage, but there's an additional micro SD card slot for storage expansion, which supports cards up to 32 gigabytes. This stock Android ice cream sandwich browser that we have here certainly behaves better on a dual-core handset than on the LG Optimus L5, since you don't have to wait as much for page loading and rendering. As you can see, a lot of stuttering and hiccups. It's just slow to load and render. Once that's done, panning, scrolling and zooming are decently fluid. On top of that, the lousy screen pixel density makes it impossible to discern anything when zoomed out, and text looks pretty grainy when zoomed in as well. So it's unlikely you'll spend much time reading articles on your L5 unless you absolutely have to. At least the processor is capable of supporting Adobe Flash, so that's a comfort. The handset offers 7.2 megabits per second HSDPA downloads, which is the bare minimum nowadays. Also has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, DONA and NFC radios. The NFC is managed by the LG Tag Plus app with one smart tag supplied in the box. The phone has an almost stock music player treated to a white background, which supports song categorization by tunes, albums, artists, playlists, and even folders. It also supports a couple of audio effects, which you can turn on in headset mode, but that's about it. The loudspeaker is pretty average, neither loud enough nor as deep sounding as we'd like, but it's fairly clean without much audible distortion, even at the highest level. The phone is capable of playing DivX XVAD files right out of the box, which is good, up to 720 by 480 pixels resolution, and you don't need much more in this 320 by 480 pixel screen anyway. We have a 5 megapixel shooter on the back of the LG Optimus L5 with an LED flash for added illumination. The camera interface supports the features that come with Android ice cream sandwich, like panorama and continuous shot, but also the usual LG additions like an abundance of scene modes and a couple of color effects. Focusing and taking a picture take about 3-4 seconds inside and 2-3 seconds when there's plenty of light, which is a bit on the slow side. The images themselves are quite usable with good color representation, accurate white balance, and the amount of detail we'd expect from a 5 megapixel module. Indoor photos are only good when there's enough light, as you might have easily guessed, with quite a lot of noise. The drawback is video capture, where the camera is only able to do VGA video, and it's with 30 frames per second, but at this day and age, it won't cut it anywhere but on a phone screen. LG has cut quite a bit of corners as far as components are concerned with the L-style series, and the Optimus L5 is no exception to that rule. With a fairly slow single-core processor and a below-average screen pixel density, it certainly won't appeal to the geeky crowd, but the design they're wrapped in makes it pretty comfortable to hold and nice to look at. Moreover, the phone has a very good build quality, above average battery life, and also takes decent pictures, which make it a good everyday handset. Unfortunately, voice quality is not that good, plus the phone only records VGA video, and those coupled with the lack of a phone-facing camera place it at a disadvantage amongst the competition in that crowded price range. The Sony Xperia Sola comes to mind, which is about 20% more expensive now, but offers way better display, a 1 GHz dual-core processor, and records HD video, not to mention the cool floating touch tech of the screen it has. A good deal for about 20% more as well is the Samsung Galaxy S2 with better screen pixel density and faster dual-core processor. These two are with slightly smaller screens though, so if you want something with a larger display but more compact size than the Optimus L5 here, you can check out last year's Sony Ericsson Xperia Arc S, which has a 1.4 GHz single-core processor, better looks, pixel density and camera than the L5, yet still costs about the same. Venturing outside of the Android universe, the Nokia Lumia 710 offers a better screen and camera, plus a selection of cool colors and free offline voice-guided navigation worldwide for slightly more money than the L5 again. This was a video review of the LG Optimus L5 by PhoneArena. For more information about this and other handsets, you can visit us at phonearena.com. Thanks for watching.